Hi guys! Today I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite books of all time, Animal Farm by George Orwell. Now, in order to understand Animal Farm, you have to be familiar with the Russian Revolution or the rise of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. See, before the Russian Revolution of 1917, Russia was ruled by the Tsar Nicholas II. His reign created dismal living conditions for the people. Millions lived in hunger and feared of speaking out due to the violent retaliation of activists during the time. However, after World War I, the incredible and greatest loss of military men that Russia had ever seen forced and incited and inspired people to be more vocal about their discontent with the Tsar. This created the conditions for the Bolshevik Revolution, which was run by a revolutionary member of communism, Lenin. Lenin was an advocate for Karl Marx, a philosopher who believed in collectivist ideals such as what we know today as communism. Now, despite the unfortunate perversions of communism that we have seen throughout history, communism in fact paints a social and political utopia where the average man, also known as the worker or the proletariat in communist terms, can live with shared power, equality, and freedom. Another historical name involved was Leon Trotsky, another Marxist revolutionary who aided Lenin in promoting their shared communist ideals. Lenin eventually died, and Trotsky was exiled and killed by the current leader of what became the USSR, Joseph Stalin. Stalin, unlike Lenin and Trotsky, was not a philosophical, political thinker and was more interested in power than the beautiful ideals of communism on paper. Stalin used mass propaganda to mislead and misuse and abuse his people and became one of the most powerful and one of the most feared totalitarian dictators of all time, purging Russia of anyone that stood up to him or anyone that showed dissent. After a certain period of time, Adolf Hitler entered the scene and became first a friend and then a foe of Joseph Stalin in World War II. We all know how that goes. Hitler was defeated in the World War II in 1943, and Stalin, Winston Churchill, and Franklin D. Roosevelt came together to talk about what would become of the world, what would become of peace afterwards. Now, all of the major characters of Animal Farm represent these people and these historical events. What George Orwell did with Animal Farm was highlight his disgust of what became of the USSR under Joseph Stalin and what became a perversion of communism. He was a socialist himself, and highlighted the hypocrisy of the final resolution between America and Russia after World War II. Animal Farm's true brilliance lies in being a cautionary tale of what can happen when there is too much power, when there is totalitarianism, and when there is complacency, and finally, what happens to a well-meaning and functioning equal society when its participants or its citizens lose sight of their free speech, lose the value of free thought due to propaganda or mass media, and country's purpose and ideals under its sick leaders. The story means so much in modern times for both liberals and conservatives or people who might otherwise lack a political view. It says, hey, we need the clarity to keep the world in check. It is no secret that we live in a society genuinely parallel to Animal Farm today. Its allegory can be used to describe even the abuses of capitalism and the perversions of capitalism and what that has become in terms of its abuses and its violations of human rights. And what has it created and what it continues to create, which is mass inequality, hypocrisy, and danger to the safety and the lifestyle and the rights of the working class or the average human. I give Animal Farm 5 stars out of 5. I loved it. It's a short read. It's only 120 pages. You'll get through it in a night, and I highly recommend it for anyone, especially people who are critics of communism or critics of capitalism or just critics in general. You'll genuinely love it, and you'll see the clear comparisons between history, or even if you don't have a full understanding in history, you'll see the clear comparisons of power and hypocrisy in society today. It's wonderful. I loved it. I recommend it for all of you guys. That's it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned a little bit about the Bolshevik Revolution. Bye!